Hello everyone, I wanted to make this video for a while and now it's finally time for it. I honestly and truly believe that original Dark Souls 2 was supposed to be Demon Souls 2. Yeah, you won't find any proof about this, but I have my thoughts about why I think like that. I will say reasons from the most obvious to least ones. Okay, let's begin. Let's take Origin Vanilla Dark Souls 2 with all its DLC that was released on PlayStation 3. I will ask you one question. What connection does this game has to other Dark Souls games? I am not talking about dumb stuff or easter eggs such as Moonlight Greatsword, Katarina armor or hollows which you can find in all FromSoft games. I am talking about lore and plot wise. Think for a while and write a comment under this video. If you said something about Lord Souls that you get in a New Game Plus, well, congrats, you just found an Easter egg. Let's take for example Roten. What him being Nito's reincarnation gives us plot and lore-wise. Oh yeah, absolutely nothing. Him being a Nito's reincarnation gives us nothing. Okay, fuck it. Let's talk about the most famous reincarnations, the Lost Sinner and Nashandra. What lame being reincarnations gives us? For example, many people say that Lost Sinner remembered her past life and now she punishes herself. And no, first of all, it's not she, it's him. The lost sinner is a girl and not a random woman with a bird. Secondly, why is he the only one who remembered his past life? Why others didn't just remember their past lives? Is it because he's the chosen one? Or is he punishing himself for things that he did in this life and not in his past life? In this game, there is not even a single proof about that he remembered his past life. And finally, what this instead gives us, besides oh look, it is that bug from Dark Souls 1. Yes, nothing. Instead of this bug, could be literally anything, and it would change nothing. Now about Nashandra. Yes, she's the only reincarnation which you can somehow connect to their past lives, because both she and Manus wanted fire to fade, but now the interesting thing. As we all know, Nashandra wanted the Throne of Want, and she clearly says about it, but here is an interesting moment. What even is the Throne of Want? No, I have a full video about it, but if we remove my theory, is there even one item description which says to us that this thing allows you to reincarnate a ward, or that it's somehow connected to the clean of the first flame? As far as I know, there is not. Fuck it, if we take all the reincarnations, maybe besides Nashandra and Tseldora, which are very debatable, what other reincarnation can offer us? Yes, absolutely nothing. Each of them have their own story, which has nothing to do with them being someone's reincarnations. And to be honest with you, reincarnations in Dark Souls 2 exist only on a New Game Plus, and that's it. And is there even a single reincarnation of a Lord Soul in Dark Souls 3? Yep, there is none. And no, Otseiros is not Sil's reincarnation. He is just obsessed with Sil and his knowledge. His mind got so twisted from Sil's knowledge that he decided to mutate himself into a dragon in order to match his idol, and that's it. But if you typed Aldia, you are absolutely correct. But there is a very funny thing about Aldia. As you know, or if you didn't know, I will remind you that Aldia was not in this game in original Dark Souls 2 on PS3. He was added only in Scholar Edition. Yeah, after a patch he was added in Dark Souls 2 original on PS3, but his first appearance was in Scholar Edition on PS4. And the interesting thing is that the more you think about it, the more you realize that the only thing that connects Dark Souls 2 to other dark games is Aldia and nothing else. But since he was added in this game only in Scholar Edition, let's ignore him and see what this game can give us plot and lore-wise. And story-wise, I guess. In this game, we have many kingdoms whose kings experienced on souls. and after a while, all their kingdoms went downfall. And let's be real, this doesn't look like a sequel of Dark Souls 1, but it very looks like a sequel for Demon Souls. If someone forgot, I will remind you that in Demon Souls there was a kingdom named Boletaria and also a few, I don't know, mini kingdoms. I am not sure how to call other worlds that were in what was his name? Nexus, yeah, Nexus. And King Alant, in order to get more power, experienced on souls. And yes, he got more power, but he unleashed a soul-eating demons, and his kingdom got destroyed. And just like in Demon Souls, in Dark Souls 2, all kings experienced on souls, and each of them builded a living golems that consumed souls or used souls. And in the end, all these kingdoms went downfall. For example, about golems, Ivory King's soldiers in Elium Lois are golems. Iron Knight's first warriors were stone golems. Ruin Sentinels are a living empty armor. Wendrick and his golems, and many more. The most obvious king and kingdom to compare it to Alant and Boletaria is Wendrick and Drangleic. You might say that there were no soul-eating demons. Yes, you are right. Or were they? There were someone else, and I will talk about them in another video because there is a very interesting thing about giants. As a reminder, Wendrick got more power from different beings, temporarily increased the power of his kingdom, and beated all other kingdoms, and in the end, just like Alant, he lost everything he once had. The second most obvious things are locations. Many people, including myself, laugh many times about the locations in this game, mainly because many of them look very out of place, and that's a soft word for this. To be completely fair, so as in Dark Souls 1, the most obvious and probably the only one in Dark Souls 1 is Darkwood Garden and Undead Purge. But it's the only thing and you can close your eyes on it and just say that, well, it's just design and that's it. But in Dark Souls 2, there are a lot of places that doesn't make any sense and you just can't close your eyes on it. The most obvious ones are Majula, Hate Tower and Huntman's Corpse. Majula, Shaded Woods, Drangleic Castle, and of course this legendary elevator that already became a meme at this point. But what if I tell you that originally you were not supposed to visit these places with your legs? Originally, just like in Demon Souls, you were supposed to visit these places with the help of Archthrones, which just teleported you in the beginning of these locations. This can explain why so many places are so close to each other and sometimes they look very out of place or straight up dumb. The third reason is that one dude in this game's code actually managed to find a hub of Archthrones next to Majula. And yeah, that's basically almost obvious reasons that I found in this game. Now the non-obvious reasons. They are not that important but also can be ignored. In this game, just like in Demon Souls, after you die, you lose your health. And just like in Demon Souls, it can be lowered to half of your max health. And the only way to restore your health is to eat one candy. In this game, there is a black character. And in Dark Souls 1 and 3, you won't find anyone that is black or Asian. Now let me explain. All human bodies were created by Manus. Originally all human bodies looked like this, just a formless beings, but Manus gave them appearance by his own image. And because of that, it's just simply impossible for a black or Asian person to be in Dark Souls universe. It just is not possible. But that won't stop Netflix with their diversity and inclusivity. But in Demon Souls, it's possible because, well, it just is. You might say, what about Shiva from the East? He said that he is from East and he uses katana. Yes, but only because someone is from East doesn't make them Asian. For example, Diego is a king of East in League of Legends, but does he look like Asian to you? And also, only because someone uses katana doesn't mean that they're Asian. There are a ton of characters in media and also real people who use katanas but are not Asians. Speaking of katanas, did you know that in Dark Souls 2 and in Demon Souls, main character wields katanas and appears differently than in Dark Souls 1 and 3. In this game, there are knights, kings, kingdoms and queens everywhere, and I don't think that this is just a coincidence. I think that there is a reason behind that, but can't prove it why. In Dark Souls 2, beside Estus, just like in Demon Souls, we have consumable snack, which regains our health a little bit. Also, while researching a bit, I found a very interesting thing about Estus. If you look at early alpha videos, you won't find Estus. In this game, originally were only life gems, just like in Demon Souls. What a coincidence, don't you think? In Dark Souls 2 and Demon Souls, Firekeepers have the same leg animation. Yes, I am not done anything to say. Dark Souls 2 on New Game Plus is literally a Demon Souls world on a black world tendency. And now the most interesting one. As you probably know, before Yui Tanimura started to create this game, it was already in mid-development by another game designer. But for some reason it was cancelled and Tanimura had to recreate this game from basically zero. And yes, I think that this game was originally supposed to be Demon Souls 2, but for some reason it was changed into Dark Souls 2. And because of that, there are so many simulations to Demon Souls and so many illogical connections towards Dark Souls. No, really, remove Aldia and this game loses all connection to Dark Souls 1 and 3. They only had 1 year and could remove all Easter eggs or connections to Demon Souls, and this is the main reason why this game's logic is so fucked up. But these are just my thoughts about this game, and what do you think of them? If you liked it, press something under this video or share this video. And with this, I will say bye bye to you and I see you next time.